Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This video is going to be talking about the top 10 most popular programming languages from the 1950s to 2023. This video is different from the last time we tackled this topic, which, if you haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. This video is different because we are starting all the way back to the 1950s. We are also going to look at them every 10 years, so from 1950 and 1960, then 1970, etc. You get the picture. So enough talking. Let's hop into the video starting with the 1950s. 1. Assembly language. Starting off this list is assembly language. This language was widely used in the 1950s for programming the earliest computers. It is not as popular now in present day, but it remains essential for specific tasks, such as system-level programming and embedded systems. The language, however, didn't have the staying power as the other languages on this list, and became less popular as the years went on. 2. Fortran. Fortran, which was made in 1957. Fortran is a high-level programming language designed for scientific and mathematical computations. This one is not as popular today, but is still used today, especially in supercomputers and scientific applications. 3. COBOL. COBOL, which was made in 1959, COBOL is a high-level, business-oriented programming language. It is mainly used for banking and financial sectors. This language had some staying popular, being very popular up until 2003. 4. Lisp. Lisp, which was developed in 1958. Lisp is a high-level programming language known for its use in artificial intelligence and symbolic computing. It has had a lasting impact and is considered the origin of popular languages, like C, C++, Java, and Pascal. 5. ALGOL. ALGOL was developed in 1958. ALGOL, or algorithmic language, is a high-level programming language that had a significant influence on the development of other languages, such as C, Pascal, and Java, which is a popular trend with a lot of these earlier programming languages. A lot of them inspired or led to one of the more modern languages we use now, like Java and Python. 6. IPL, Information Processing Language. IPL, or Information Processing Language, was developed in 1954. The main purpose of IPL was image processing and computer vision applications. Another fun fact was that IPL was a precursor to the Lisp programming language. 7. Phlomatic. Phlomatic was developed in 1955. Phlomatic was the first programming language to use English-like statements to express operations and to distinguish data from the operations performed on it. It was a programming language that eventually led to the development of COBOL. 8. COMTRAN. COMTRAN was developed in 1957. COMTRAN was the first programming language to include a picture clause, which defines how a data item should be formatted for output. COMTRAN was also a precursor to the COBOL programming language. 9. AutoCode. AutoCode was made in the early 1950s. AutoCode was possibly the first compiled programming language used at the University of Manchester. 10. Shortcode. Shortcode was developed in 1949. This makes shortcode the oldest language on this list. Shortcode was one of the first high-level programming languages for electronic computers, and it required interpretation into machine code. That covers the 1950s and leads us to the 1960s, which has a drastic change from the 1950s top 10. This will be a common theme in the list until we reach modern day, where things stay more consistent. Starting off the list for 1960 is Fortran. 1960s. 1. Fortran. Developed in the 1950s. It did not gain popularity until it was heavily used in the 1960s. This program was mainly used for scientific and engineering calculations. 2. COBOL. COBOL, which is also known as Common Business-Oriented Language, was introduced in 1959 and widely adopted in the 1960s. It was popular with businesses, mainly being used for business data processing. 3. Lisp. Created in 1958, its main focus was in artificial intelligence research and mathematical notions for computer programming. 4. ALGOL. First introduced in 1958 and refined in the early 1960s, it had a significant impact on the development of many subsequent programming languages, and was the first language implementing nested function definitions with lexical scope. Moreover, it was the first programming language which gave detailed attention to formal language definition. 5. Assembly language. I already brought up assembly language in the last part, so I'll keep it brief and just say it was used extensively throughout the 1960s for low-level programming, especially in system programming and operating systems. 6. BASIC. BASIC, also known as Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code, was made in 1964. It gained popularity in educational and small business environments by the end of the decade. 7. RPG. Report Program Generator or RPG, introduced by IBM in the 1960s, and it was used for business applications, especially on IBM systems. 8. PL/I or Programming Language 1. Developed in the early 1960s, and was also made by IBM. The purpose of this language was to combine features of scientific Fortran and business COBOL programming into one language. 9. Jovial or Joule's own version of the International Algebraic Language. Jovial was created in the late 1950s and used primarily by the U.S. Department of Defense during the 1960s for codifying the data descriptions and determining sequences of elementary operations. 10. Simula. Introduced in the mid-1960s, it is considered the first object-oriented programming language and was used primarily for simulation. We reached the point where some languages are going to start popping up over and over on the list, so I'm going to go into less detail on the ones I already mentioned and mainly talk about the newcomers. 1970 is an interesting year because this is when a lot of the popular ones we still use today come into the picture. 1970s. 1. Fortran. Continued to be widely used for scientific and engineering applications due to its efficient numerical computation capabilities. 2. COBOL. Remained a staple in business, finance, and administrative systems, known for its ability to handle large volumes of data processing. 3. ALGOL. Influential in academia and laid the groundwork for many future languages with its structured programming approach. 4. BASIC. Became extremely popular in education and among hobbyists due to its simplicity and ease of use, particularly on early personal computers. 5. C. Here is the first new one of the list. C, which was developed in 1972 at Bell Labs by Dennis Ritchie. C became a foundational language for systems programming and had a profound influence on many subsequent languages like C++, Java, and Python. 6. Pascal. Pascal, which was designed by Niklaus Wirth for teaching structured programming, Pascal became a key educational language and was also used for software development. 7. Prolog. Emerged in 1972 and was as a leading language for artificial intelligence research, known for its use of logic programming. 8. Smalltalk. Was made in 1972 and was one of the first object-oriented languages, developed at Xerox PARC, which influenced the development of later object-oriented languages, such as Objective-C and Java. 9. ML. ML was made in the early 1970s and is known for introducing type inference and functional programming concepts. ML influenced later languages like Haskell and OCaml. 10. Scheme. Scheme was also made in the early 1970s and was a minimalist dialect of Lisp that introduced lexical scoping and first-class continuations, which influenced many academic and research projects. These languages were pivotal in shaping the landscape of software development, each one later contributing to the development or influence of many popular languages that followed. In the 1980s, the landscape of programming languages was significantly shaped by the rise of personal computers and the increasing need for more sophisticated software development tools, which leads to the first tool on this list. 1. C. Originally developed in the early 1970s, C gained immense popularity in the 1980s due to its use in systems programming and software development for the Unix operating system. 2. C++. Created by Bayona Stroustrup in 1983, C++ extended the C language by adding object-oriented features. It quickly became a staple in software development, particularly for system/software development and game programming. 3. Pascal. Developed in the late 1960s and 1970s, Pascal saw widespread use in the 1980s, especially in academia and early personal computers like the Apple II and IBM PC. Its structured programming approach made it an excellent teaching language. 4. Ada. Commissioned by the U.S. Department of Defense, Ada was designed for large, long-lived applications where safety and security are critical. It was introduced in the early 1980s and was used in defense and aerospace industries. 5. Lisp. While Lisp was created in the late 1950s, its dialects, including Common Lisp, were standardized in the 1980s. Lisp's powerful features for symbolic computation and AI research kept it relevant throughout the decade. 6. Smalltalk. This language introduced the concept of object-oriented programming and was highly influential in the development of later object-oriented languages. It was extensively used in education and research during the 1980s. 7. Fortran. Originally developed in the 1950s, Fortran continued to be widely used in the 1980s for scientific and engineering applications, thanks to its efficiency and numerical computation capabilities. 8. COBOL. Despite being developed in the 1950s, COBOL remained crucial in the 1980s for business, finance, and administrative systems, for companies and governments, due to its robustness in handling data processing. 9. BASIC. The beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code, or BASIC, was popular on microcomputers in the 1980s. It was widely used for educational purposes and simple application development. 10. Perl. Created by Larry Wall in 1987, Perl quickly gained popularity for its text processing capabilities and was used extensively in system administration, web development, and network programming. These languages were pivotal in shaping the software development practices and the evolution of computing technology in the 1980s. Their influences are still felt today, as many modern languages and systems are built upon the foundations they established. The same can also be said for the 1990s, which you can see with a lot of familiar codes used today. 1. Java. Introduced by Sun Microsystems in 1995, Java became highly popular for web development and enterprise applications due to its platform independence and robust API. 2. C++. Building on C, C++ introduced object-oriented programming and became a staple in game development, system/software applications, and high-performance applications. 3. Visual Basic. Developed by Microsoft, Visual Basic was popular for rapid application development, particularly for Windows applications. 4. Perl. Known for its text processing capabilities, Perl was a favorite for system administration, CGI scripting, and web development. 5. JavaScript. Created in 1995 by Netscape, JavaScript became essential for client-side web development, adding interactivity to web pages. 6. SQL. As relational databases became more widespread, SQL became essential for database management and manipulation, integral to most business and enterprise applications. 7. Delphi/Object Pascal. Developed by Borland, Delphi was known for its rapid application development framework, primarily used for Windows applications. 8. Python. Though it started gaining popularity in the mid-90s, Python's simplicity and readability began to attract a growing number of developers by the end of the decade. 9. COBOL. COBOL, Common Business-Oriented Language, was widely used in business and financial applications, particularly in legacy systems. Its readability, English-like syntax, and support for handling large volumes of data made it a standard in industries like banking and government. 10. PHP. Introduced in 1995, PHP quickly became the go-to language for server-side web development, especially for creating dynamic web pages. These languages are pretty much the most used ones, and are still widely used today, so this point on the list doesn't change all that much. 2000s. 1. Java. Continued to dominate in enterprise environments due to its robustness, portability, and extensive libraries. 2. C++. Widely used for system/software development, game programming, and applications requiring high performance. 3. C#. Introduced as part of Microsoft's .NET initiative, it became popular for enterprise applications and web services. 4. Python. Gained traction for its readability, simplicity, and wide range of applications from web development to data science. 5. PHP. Became a staple for web development due to its ease of embedding within HTML and its role in server-side scripting. 6. JavaScript. Essential for web development, particularly for enhancing user interfaces and dynamic content. 7. Visual Basic. Continued to be popular through the 2000s. It was popular for rapid application development, particularly for Windows applications. 8. Perl. Known for its text processing capabilities, it was widely used in web development and network programming. 9. Ruby. Gained popularity especially with the Ruby on Rails framework for web development. 10. SQL. Remained crucial for database management and querying relational databases. In the 2010s, the landscape of popular programming languages was diverse, driven by the rise of web development, mobile applications, and data analysis. It's hard to place the languages in a set top 10 because they move up and down in popularity through the years, but these were the most used. 2010. 1. JavaScript. Dominant in web development, essential for interactive front-end web applications. 2. Python. Popular for its simplicity and wide use in data science, machine learning, and web development. 3. Java. Continued to be widely used in enterprise environments, particularly for Android app development. 4. C#. Favored for Windows applications and game development, using the Unity engine. 5. PHP. Commonly used for server-side web development. 6. C++. Used for system/software development and game development. 7. Objective-C. Predominantly used for iOS app development before being largely replaced by Swift. 8. Ruby. Known for its elegant syntax and used mainly in web development through the Ruby on Rails framework. 9. Swift. Introduced by Apple for iOS and macOS app development, gradually replacing Objective-C. 10. R. Popular in the academic and data analysis communities for statistical computing and graphics. We are coming up to the end of the list, so here is a reminder to like the video and subscribe. And now here is the list of the 2020s. 1. JavaScript. Widely used for web development, JavaScript remained the most commonly used language according to various surveys, including Stack Overflow and JetBrains. 2. Python. Known for its readability and efficiency in data science and machine learning. Python saw significant growth and was highly favored by developers. 3. Java. A versatile and platform-independent language, Java was extensively used in enterprise environments and Android app development. 4. C#. Popular for game development with Unity and enterprise applications, C# remained a significant language in the Microsoft ecosystem. 5. PHP. Despite criticisms, PHP continued to power a large portion of the web, particularly with content management systems like WordPress. 6. TypeScript. Gaining traction as a superset of JavaScript, TypeScript offered better tooling and type safety, making it a popular choice for large-scale web applications. 7. C++. Known for its performance and use in systems/software development, game development, and real-time simulations, C++ maintained its importance. 8. Ruby. While not as dominant as before, Ruby, especially with its Rails framework, was still popular for web development. 9. Swift. Swift gained popularity because of its modern syntax open source code, which allowed developers to have a broader community to review and provide feedback, which helped Swift grow faster and led to quicker improvements, and it was backwards compatible with Objective-C, which made it easier for developers to move over to Swift was Objective-C. 10. SQL. Essential for database management and widely used across various applications, SQL was an indispensable language for developers working with relational databases. The most popular programming languages in 2023, based on various sources, are as follows. 1. Python. Continues to be widely used due to its simplicity and versatility in areas such as web development, data analysis, artificial intelligence, and scientific computing. 2. C. Known for its performance and efficiency, especially in system programming and embedded systems. 3. Java. Popular for enterprise-level applications and Android app development. 4. C++. Extensively used in game development, real-time systems, and applications requiring high performance. 5. JavaScript dominates web development, enabling dynamic and interactive websites. 6. C#, used in a wide range of applications from desktop to mobile, particularly within the Microsoft ecosystem. 7. PHP. PHP became popular as a server-side scripting language for web development. It excelled in building dynamic web pages, handling forms, interacting with databases, and supporting content management systems, e.g., WordPress, contributing to its widespread use in web development. 8. Swift, gaining popularity for cloud services and concurrent programming. 9. Kotlin. Kotlin is a cross-platform, statically typed, general-purpose high-level programming language with type inference. Kotlin is designed to interoperate fully with Java, and the JVM version of Kotlin's standard library depends on the Java class library, but type inference allows its syntax to be more concise. 10. TypeScript, a superset of JavaScript that adds static types, becoming increasingly popular for large-scale web applications. And that's the list. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.